from Ohio State coming back to beat Penn State on the road, to number 4 Michigan taking care of Michigan State 29-7. This was a very workmanlike performance for Jim Harbaugh's Wolverines. They won playing the kind of football that he loves to play. We're going to run the ball. We're going to control the offense. We're going to control you on defense. We're going to take what you give us. We're going to take our field goals, and we're going to take this win, and we're going to go home. It felt like every time Michigan had the ball, they were forcing Mel Tucker to make some hard decisions. Are you going to try to go for it on 4th and goal or inside of your own 20 to try to get in front, to try to get an edge at the big house? Are you going to keep trying to throw the ball up to Keon Coleman and hope that he keeps winning those one-on-one matchups? Are you going to just try to trust Peyton Thorne to figure this out through the air as opposed to continue to try to go back to the ground, where they have really missed the presence of Kenneth Walker III, who is doing great work for the Seattle Seahawks right now, but also was able to average about 136 yards on the ground. They just don't have that in the backfield this year, even though they had 2 tailbacks that I really enjoy, and Jalen Berger transferring from Wisconsin, Jarek Broussard transferring from Colorado. Best player on that Colorado team last year. They just weren't able to move the football, but also against this Michigan defense led by Jesse Minter in what is delightfully called the Ravens to Wolverines exchange program. We're getting to see that it doesn't seem to matter that Jesse Minter is in year 1 at Michigan, or even that Sharon Moore and Matt Weiss are in year 1 together at Michigan. They're playing complementary football at the big house, and frankly, all of their games that have been big have been at the big house, but that is no shade. That's just to say, having 107,000 people in your corner means a little something extra, especially when you're trying to take over this mental hurdle that is Michigan State, who has more or less had Michigan's number since about 2008. I believe going into this game, Michigan State is about 5-2 against them when they're going to the big house. Also, Mel Tucker was 2-0, right, against Jim Harbaugh so far going into this, and coming off an 11-win season last year, where they very much marched over the top of Michigan's dead body to a New Year's Six Bowl berth. But this season, it feels like we're going to be talking about Michigan and Ohio State right up until November 26th, and they could be number 1, number 2 in the rankings by the time they play, because that's just the nature of how the schedules are breaking down. Blake Corum went over 1,000 yards rushing this season in this game. Outstanding performance for a Heisman front runner and contender. As a matter of fact, between him and CJ Stroud, you got 2 of the best players in the country right there. And that dude can run hard. He can run fast. If you are not gap sound, he's going to find it. He's going to exploit it. And with that Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line coach that is Sharon Moore, they're continuing to find lanes for him and get him the football in spaces. They're allowing J.J. McCarthy time to work. He can also benefit from perhaps having a run game they can depend on. They don't have to force the ball down the field. Other guys like Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, Ronnie Bell, they can take it all in stride. Where will Michigan be ranked on Tuesday's college football playoff rankings? It's a very interesting question to ask. I don't have them any worse than number 4, but I honestly think they're going to be at number 3 when we go and take a look at what the eye test does for the selection committee, because that's what we're going to discuss here, right? We can take a look at the blind resumes and we can take a look at the rank wins, but what it comes down to is, do you think that Michigan could beat this team or that team? And I think right now I'm comfortable with them at number 3, and I'm comfortable with them staying there, all things considered, and all things staying the same until they play Ohio State on November 26th. A lot is going to come down to what goes on in that game. Again, Michigan State just doesn't have it this year. And I really wanted them to have it. I thought that Mel Tucker was in a position to really take it forward, got that big contract and that big extension. Scotty Hazelton seemed to have a real bead on what the defense could or could not do. But against a very sound Michigan offense and defense, they're just outmatched, right? I mean, straight up and out of the gun. Now, they're going to try to go into November and see if they can't continue this pace. But after starting off against a really, quite honestly, soft non-conference schedule, they have acquitted themselves in much the way the SEC schedule does, right? We play a tough schedule in the Big Ten. We don't have to schedule anybody in the non-conference because the Big Ten is just that tough. That's what they tell us in the SEC, and it works just fine for them. Good for you, Michigan. You're going to be undefeated going into these college football playoff rankings and right back in a position to get back to the playoff for the second time in as many years. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.